as you can see, I put up that, what you have to do for YouTube thing. And we're at 996 people on the YouTube channel now. So technically speaking, I need 4 more to subscribe. And then I've already done the process. Then it takes about a month, I think, before YouTube says yay or nay. But I just want to thank everybody who has, helped subscribe and contributed in any way to making the channel grow. The joining up on Patreon, which I'll talk about that another one. I am going to restart up the Patreon account again. So keep it going, and we don't have to stop just because we get to 1,000. So the more people, the better. That's not, there's the cleaning stuff. Okay. Well, I picked up the car. There was nothing technically wrong with it. He says the brakes and everything are fine. The noise is just part of the noise of the car, I guess. Oh, I got the spray stuff for the ceiling too. But I don't know if I'm going to get to that today. That could be a tomorrow project. And then I went looking for yogurt. No such creature here. I don't know what's going on with that. That's not good. And then Sid needed Dawn. I had to go to 2 grocery stores to get a bottle of Dawn, soap for doing dishes. It is what it is. There's no way around. You don't get everything all in one place here, or very rarely. Oh yeah, this morning, Sid and I went out, trimmed up bushes here, and cut them back, pruned them, got all that done. I got a little bit more. Well, you can see there's a pile of brush over here. But I got a little bit more to do on that this afternoon, and some planting. Some plants that are on the porch need to actually go in the ground. Cheers. So, they've had a homecoming, and if you're not familiar with that because you haven't been here a whole lot, homecomings are these events where there's stalls set up, people sell stuff, there's food, music, all that kind of stuff. And every settlement tends to have a homecoming at different times of the year. I don't know how popular they are anymore. I can only speak for the one basically in Governors, which I know when we first came, it was quite a big affair. And that was many years ago. And now it seems to have diminished down to a much smaller event. Why? I don't know. I mean, I think the concept of homecomings came from a period where people didn't have the resources to travel back and forth to the island all the time. So they didn't get to see family members from other islands or that kind of thing. So they would set up this event and people would come from wherever for that 2, 3, 4 days, whatever it happens to be. But now, my feeling is that they've diminished because people can come and go. I mean, God, it's 20 minutes from Nassau on a plane. You can come almost anytime you want. People are making more money, so that's not happening as much as it used to. I mean, that's just how I feel about it, is that it seems to have diminished down now. Whether that's actually the case everywhere, I don't honestly know. So one of the other things I was going to tell everybody about who comes here, because we get a lot of questions and everything else, and I'm going to touch a whole bunch of different little things here. But one of them is I'm going to be putting back up the Patreon account. I'm going to change the levels because I can't keep up to posting on Patreon as much as I probably should. I've got too many other things besides the project and Facebook and Instagram and So I'm hoping, and I'm going to put out sort of a request or ask people that if they could help and financially help so that we have more resources to be able to do things with. We'll see how that one goes. But I just wanted you to know that in advance. The other thing I wanted to tell you about, if you come here, car rentals. It's always a big question. Car rentals, it's going to depend on what it is that you want to rent, where you want to go, what your budget is. But I can tell you that if you rent, a guy says, oh, I can rent you a car for $40 a day, $30 a day. You're probably thinking, great, that's wonderful. You're not going to get a whole lot of a car, let me tell you, for 30, 40 bucks a day. I mean, maybe, hopefully, it'll work. But car rental prices are fairly even across the board. I mean, there's a little bit of changes, and it depends on how long and that kind of thing. But it's also going to depend on what you want to do. Like, if you're not the kind of person who's coming here to really explore, and you're going to just basically sit at the same, go to the same beaches that are accessed by a car, go out to eat, hang around the house, that kind of stuff, great. A car will work fine for you. But if you're somebody who's going to want to go exploring and back roads and finding different places, then maybe you want to get a Jeep. Now, a Jeep's going to cost you $100, $120 a day, somewhere around there. So you've got to remember that there is varying costs. Who has what? I honestly don't know. That's why I can't recommend somebody, because I don't know what you're looking to do. And you're going to have to go through that whole procedure of what do I want to do when I get here? What can I afford to pay? What am I willing to do? Remember, there's no Hertz, there's no Avis, there's no Enterprise. It's individuals. And you can find a list of those people, the car rental people and a whole bunch of other stuff, on the Eleuthera, Bahamas.org website. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about was beaches, because I get questions on that too, is that people will say, oh, I'm coming with a 2-year-old. Oh, wait, let me go back again. Do you need to rent a car? My opinion is this island's 110 miles long. You need to rent a car. Somebody wrote to us recently and said, I'm renting a house and it comes with not a go-kart, but like a 4-wheeler, and it's registered so I can drive it anywhere. Well, yes, technically you can. Do you really want to drive a go-kart, at 30 miles an hour or whatever, 60 miles in each direction? I would kind of doubt that. So, and then you've got a little kid. This particular person had a little baby that's going to be coming with them too. And I'm like, you really want to sit in the golf cart holding a little baby while you drive 60 miles south or north or whatever? I kind of doubt it. So renting a car isn't really an option unless you're going to rent a house on the beach and you don't plan on going anywhere. The other one, beaches. That person also said, oh, if the water's rough on the Atlantic side where we're renting, where can we go? And generally, if the water's rough on the Atlantic side, the other side tends to be calmer. Now, there's a couple beaches that you can hit that are great for kids just lounging around. We'll start in the south. Ten Bay is usually very calm, easy, you can walk out forever. Receivers Beach up by Coco de Mama near the Governor's Harbor Airport is another one that's, you know, at low tide, God, you can walk forever. And even at high tide, you can walk out a long way. So that's another one. And the other one to the north is Golden Key, which is across from Daddy Joe's, the restaurant before Glass Window Bridge. All of those are, you know, great for little kids. They can play in the sand. The waves aren't big. You don't have to worry about, you know, anything really happening. Yeah, of course, you got to watch your kids, but everything in that regard is fine. So just remember, if you come here, you've got two sides to this. It's an island. But again, if it's rough on the Atlantic side and you decide you want to go to Golden Key, well, that's all the way up by Glass Window Bridge. So you really want to drive a go-kart or... So car rentals, definite. Two sides to the island. You can go to whichever beaches you want. She was hiding.